Welcome to the Eczema Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Julia Chen. I'm here to help you heal your eczema naturally so you can finally live your best damn life. Many years ago in my own eczema healing journey, I was stuck and confused on how to heal my skin. Fast forward to today, after many lessons learned and lots of trial and error, I'm now living my best life and traveling the world with clearer skin. If you're an eczema or TSW warrior who desires a life of food freedom and is wanting to heal your skin without steroids while using mindset and manifestation as a tool, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. In today's episode, we are doing just audio today, not a video this week, but that's okay. We'll be back with the videos very shortly. In today's episode, I want to talk about the topic, why healing is a journey, not a destination. Now, I think a lot of you listening to my podcast know that yes, in fact, healing is a journey. We always have to support our bodies. We always have to be taking care of ourselves if we want to prevent future flare-ups or prevent symptoms from reoccurring. However, I do see this quite often in my practice where a lot of people know that healing is a journey. It's not like a one-stop shop. There is this mindset around wanting to be done with healing and never have to deal with symptoms ever again and just wanting the journey to end, which is absolutely reasonable. When you are going through health problems, symptoms, eczema flares, and all these things that affect your daily life, it affects your relationship, it affects your work and all of that, of course, you want your journey to end and you want everything to heal, and that's it. And a lot of the times people start their healing journey, let's say they invest in a program or they started seeing a practitioner, and the time that you usually have with the practitioner depends on the service. For example, I like to work with my clients in a container, meaning I'm following up, I'm providing accountability, I'm giving them support over the course of at least 3 months. With that being said, after 3 months doesn't mean your healing journey is over, and that doesn't mean you're completely healed, right? There's always things to work on, whether it's your nutrition, your lifestyle. Oftentimes it's the ongoing mindset work that needs to be done. But it doesn't just end after 3 months, even though when you pay for a service, yes, it might be a 3-month contract, but your healing always continues. What I'm trying to say here is that healing is not a destination. When you complete a program, it doesn't just mean that you will be 100% symptom-free forever. When you go see a doctor, you don't just see him or her one time and then all of your symptoms go away. They have to follow up to see how you're doing. Do we need to make changes to your medications? Do we need to make changes to your treatment plan, right? It's an ongoing process. Same thing when it comes to holistic healing. While the treatment is very different between a physician versus a holistic practitioner, because we're not using medications to treat your symptoms, it is an ongoing process. It doesn't end just after 3 months, even if you've experienced full healing. But I truly believe, as a practitioner, none of us experience full healing. And that's the reality of living in a world where there's going to be stress. There's going to be changes to your lifestyle. There's going to be unexpected things that throw your routine off or affect your diet and things like that. So we do have to be mindful and just remember that it doesn't just end after you commit to something for a few months. The other thing too is the mindset around this. I just want to be done with healing and I just want to complete it and finish it and just heal. Sometimes when we hyper focus on the finish line, you want a result, you want to achieve this, you want to be clear of symptoms, you want to be clear of skin issues, you might tend to miss lessons on the way. And this is really important when it comes to your healing, because when you focus too much on the end goal, you start to kind of forget all the things that you learn about yourself that you normally wouldn't learn if you weren't going through something. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to dealing with a health condition. We all want to heal. We all want to be feeling our best self. But a lot of the things that you learn in your journey, you would have never learned if you didn't have to go through something difficult. So while you're in the midst of a flare right now and you're really struggling and you're having a really hard time, I just want you to remember, and I know this is easier said than done, especially if you're in the middle of it, is that what you're going through now is only going to make you a stronger person and allow you to reflect once you come out of it and be like, wow, I actually needed to go through that for a particular reason. I learned so much about self-love. I learned so much about my mindset. I learned so much about compassion. Like whatever it is, you learn when you're going through something challenging. So that's something important to remember. Not to forget that when you have this mindset of achieving this goal within a certain time frame, like it has to be 3 months or it has to be 6 months, it creates unnecessary pressure and anxiety. You're constantly so focused on this date. Like, let's say you have a wedding to attend. You have this goal of wanting to attend a wedding or attend your own wedding, go on vacation, but this can create stress because we all know symptoms don't resolve quickly. It takes time, it takes consistency and trust, and we have definitely seen people achieve that timeline. I'm not saying it's not possible. Actually, it reminds me a lot of my clients recently who have gone on vacation, who swam in the ocean, who've gotten married within the time frame that they wanted to heal. It's certainly possible, but sometimes you want to ask yourself, how much pressure and anxiety are you adding to your healing timeline? Because that is only going to make it harder for you to heal when there's added stress. So that's the mindset piece around having a timeline and feeling like healing is a destination. Whether or not you know that it's not true, like healing is definitely not just a destination, sometimes we subconsciously believe it. Sometimes we subconsciously think, I know healing is a journey, but I actually really want to heal in this time. But you may want to consider working on your beliefs around healing. Like, do you truly feel like it's a journey, or do you really want to heal within this time frame on a specific date? Work through those thoughts and see what comes up. There's a difference also between healing in the acute phase versus the long-term maintenance. This is something I really, really want to talk about because I think some people may be confused about this. When you are going through a really bad symptom, a really awful flare, acute healing is like when you're putting out the fire. You're reducing the symptoms as much as you can. You're calming the symptoms, you're calming the flares, and you're basically trying to address whatever is going on in the body so that you can start to bring that inflammation down. In this part of the healing journey, you're doing the work. You are putting in the consistency. You're following the protocol, right? It's acute healing. And this can sometimes take a few months before you can start moving on to the maintenance phase. And the maintenance phase is really important because this is where the real sustainable lifestyle shifts happen. Initially, when you have your protocol, it might be a little hard. You might have to restrict a few things. You might have to change your lifestyle. But later on, I would love to see you be able to maintain your healing. And we do that by having an overall diet and lifestyle that you can continue following without feeling like it's restrictive. That could look like continuing to nourish your body with the right foods, but it's okay if you go out and indulge on some days and some weeks. Maybe that looks like improving your stress resilience, continuing to regulate your nervous system, setting boundaries, taking care of yourself, right? Like these are things that we need to do as humans if we want to be healthy and maintain our clear skin and reduce our symptoms. It's really about balance. And having that long-term maintenance is super important. A lot of the times, I know you guys think this because it's been shared to me. It's like, okay, it's one and done. I want to do this treatment plan and be in this protocol and then heal and then I'm good. That's not what actually happens. Yes, you have a treatment plan. It's the acute phase, right? You're healing those really angry symptoms. And then later on, once it starts to heal, you need to maintain that. Because if you think it's a one and done situation, you're going to be disciplined and do all these things, but you don't have a maintenance plan, then what happens is that you're going to constantly be in this cycle of flaring, of symptoms, because you might not have a maintenance protocol to prevent the flares and symptoms from getting worse. A good example of this is think of acute healing like physical therapy after an injury. Let's say you get into a car accident and you have a lot of pain in your shoulder. You go to your physiotherapist or chiropractor to help heal the injury or manage the injury. Maintenance is how you take care of your body so it doesn't get re-injured. Maybe you need to stretch more. Maybe you need to go to physical therapy once a month or once every few months for maintenance. When I was going through my severe eczema and TSW flares, I used to see my acupuncturist back in Vancouver twice a week, because we were in the acute phase of the treatment. After my skin started to see more healing and I could see her less, then I went down to once a week. and then once a month, right? And then now my plan is when I go back is to see her once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, just to maintain my health so it can prevent burnout and prevent symptoms from reoccurring. That also applies to you as well. So if you're seeing a practitioner, if you're seeing me, yes, initially we're going to see each other often because we're in the treatment phase. And then later on, I would love to see my clients every couple months just to make sure they are continuing to heal and also continuing to be supported. That's basically what I want to say in terms of acute healing and long-term maintenance. Hope that allows you to reflect a little bit about how you see and perceive your healing. Do you feel like or see that it's a one and done? I got to, heal it with the protocol and that's it? Or do you actually see your lifestyle as something that you can maintain to prevent symptoms from reoccurring? To end off this episode, I want to mention that while all of you are on your healing journey and you have this goal of healing yourself completely, you don't have to be 100% symptom free in order to feel empowered, in order to feel like you've made it. Nobody is always 100% symptom free. I still get eczema flares when I'm under stress. I still have gut issues sometimes, and that is part of life. It is normal. Which is why, again, healing is not a destination. You don't just heal and be completely clear of eczema and never have it again. There are some people that never have eczema again, but then there's people like us who have it in our genes, right? Who have it because it's easily triggered by a specific root cause. And so you don't have to be 100% symptom free in order to have a good life. You can still have a little bit of symptoms and still have a very normal, happy life where you get to do the things that you enjoy. So maybe that takes a little bit of the perfectionism away from your healing, and just know that no one is perfect. You can have symptoms as long as you know how to manage them, as long as you have a plan. And if you ever feel like you're lost and you don't know how to heal, you did heal in the past and you're flaring again, don't be hard on yourself. Life literally happens. This is why I'm here as a practitioner. There's tons of other practitioners that are literally meant to support you guys on your journey. Don't hesitate to reach out. Don't feel bad if you're like, oh my gosh, but I worked with her before, or I, invested a lot in the past. I feel like I don't need to do it again because you learned how to in the past. Things change, life changes, your body changes as you get older. So it's okay to reach out for help. Like, this is what we're here for. So with that being said, if you feel like, okay, I'm ready to go ahead with my journey and start working on the healing and having my support by your side, I would love to get to know you and see how my practice can support you in your journey. If you go to the show notes below, there's a link for you to book a free consult. And this consult is basically for me to better understand how I can support you, identify areas we could work on together, and ultimately for you to heal and feel better in your body. Thanks so much for tuning in today's episode. I'm so excited because we are having a guest speaker come on in the coming episodes. So definitely stay tuned for that. We are trying to have more guests on our podcast to talk about different topics outside of eczema and also about eczema as well. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already. We release episodes every week. And if you've enjoyed our episodes, make sure you also leave us a review. That would help us so much in the podcast growing. Have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your night, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Now, before I let you go, I want to let you know I have this amazing eczema visualization. This visualization has helped me so much when it comes to manifesting eczema healing flares faster than I can ever imagine, reducing the itch, and just feeling great in my body. This is the exact same visualization I use for my own healing as well as my clients' healing as well. And if you want to receive this visualization, then all you have to do is leave us a review, tell us what you think about the podcast, screenshot it, send it to your email at hello@juliachin.ca, and you will receive the visualization to your inbox. I look forward to seeing your review, and we will see you in the next episode.